Hello and welcome to the Mossy Oak Supply Co. YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the 5 best-selling knives at Tractor Supply Co. for July of 2026. So let's get right into it and look at number 5. We have the Buck Knives 379 Solo Folding Pocket Knife. This guy comes in at about $25 at Tractor Supply currently. Excellent little folding pocket knife, weighs only about an ounce, right? So it's really lightweight, really small. We have a length here closed of about 3 inches in total. You can see the nice Buck logo kind of etched there on the handle. We do have this excellent wood kind of inlay here. We have these bolsters, which give it a classy kind of look for a $25 knife. We do have a blade length coming in at about 2.2 inches, a little under there with a nice clip point blade here. We do have an overall length coming in at about 5.25 inches. And this knife is a stainless steel blade, right? So we have the wood handle with the bolsters and a nice stainless steel blade. Let's see how this knife cuts out of the box, right? So this is a relatively new knife, you know, haven't used it a whole lot. Let's cut some 1/2-inch rope and see how that goes. All right, right through it. So, you know, like all Buck knives, this one's pretty sharp out of the box, especially for 25 bucks. Went right through that rope without too much trouble at all. You can see here we have a Buck 110, right? These little knives, these Buck 379s, pretty similar to the larger knife format, right? So you can see the resemblance there, $25. This one's about $100, so there is a nice price difference there. But number 5 at Tractor Supply, the Buck 379 Solo Folding Pocket Knife. So we'll put this guy aside right there. And let's move into number 4, right? So number 4 at Tractor Supply, we have the Olympia Rescue Folding Pocket Knife. This guy comes in at about $10, so it's really cheap. You can see we do have a flipper. We have thumb studs on either side of the blade. This handle here is just a bright blue aluminum handle, so that's nice aluminum metal. We have a pocket clip, a belt clip right here. It is plenty sturdy, right? A little loose, but you know, it's not going to go anywhere. We have a box cutter or a seatbelt cutter sort of tool here on the back. We also have a glass breaker. So this knife is kind of a utility knife, you know, multi-purpose, $10 knife at Tractor Supply. Let's see how it opens. This is just out of the packaging. Okay, so it doesn't open super well out of the box, but you know, with a thumb stud it works just fine. We do have a partially serrated blade here, so there's the nice straight blade, and we also have the serrations. So we'll see how this cuts in a bit. This knife does come in at about 5 ounces, so it's much heavier than the Buck. We do have a overall length of about 7.9 inches, a closed length of about 4.7 inches, and a blade length coming in at about 3.15 inches. This blade is stainless steel, so we have the handle is aluminum, the blade is stainless steel. You know, the nice blue look is pretty cool too. So if you're looking for a knife that has these like survival kind of components, you know, the cutter, the glass breaker, it's a pretty cool little knife, you know, $10. And I mean, they took some steel out of the handle here, or they took some metal out of the blade here to kind of, I guess, lighten the load a little bit, make it a little lighter. It's still 5 ounces, so it feels very heavy in the hand, right? This is pretty significant for a folding pocket knife. So let me get some of the 1/2-inch rope and let's see how this knife cuts out of the box. I am kind of worried about the serrated blade bit, right? That is not the easiest to cut through this rope with, so let's give it a try. Yeah, the serrated blade is just not getting through it super easily. So let's try the straight blade. Okay, the straight blade went right through it just fine, right? So let's see how that goes again. Right through it. This knife is surprisingly sharp out of the box for a $10 folder. $10 at Tractor Supply. The number 4 knife, right? Pretty sharp. The Olympia Rescue Folding Pocket Knife coming in at the number 4 slot. So let's stick this guy right next to the Buck there. And move on to number 3. So we have the number 3 best-selling folding pocket knife at Tractor Supply for July of 2026. We have the Smith & Wesson Drive folding knife. This knife comes in at about $10 currently at Tractor Supply. It's incredibly small. So this thing closed is only about 2 inches in total. We do have a little flipper on the back, so let's see how that works. Shoots open just fine, right? So it's a nice little tiny folding pocket knife. You can put on a keychain, flips right open without any trouble at all. We do have a frame lock here, so it looks pretty strong, pretty sturdy. The blade looks really sharp out of the box. It has that nice kind of hoof style blade here, so that's kind of cool. We don't have any thumb studs or anything, it's just the flipper, but it opens pretty smooth for such a small folding pocket knife. The handle material is a stainless steel. The blade material is a high carbon steel, so it must be a little more strong than the handle. We do have a little chain on the back to attach this to a keychain or whatever you're gonna use to hold it. And yeah, I mean, this folder comes in at a little less than an ounce. We're at 0.9 ounces, so very lightweight. Does come with a limited lifetime warranty from Smith & Wesson. We do have a blade length of about 1.25 inches, a closed length of 2 inches, and an overall length coming in at just 3.25 inches in total, you know, for the overall open length here. So really, really small knife. Let's see how this cuts on the 1/2 inch rope. Let me get the 1/2 inch rope out here. Okay, we have the 1/2 inch, and we have the very tiny Smith & Wesson Drive folding knife coming in at the number 3 slot from Tractor Supply. Let's see how this cuts. All right, had some trouble getting through the 1/2 inch rope there. And some more trouble. And some more trouble. It is a very tiny blade to the point that it makes it difficult to use. And honestly, it just doesn't seem that sharp out of the box, really. The number 3 bestseller, Tractor Supply, is having trouble getting through this 1/2 inch rope. Let me see if I have something else. I do have a zip tie here, so let's see if maybe that works a little better. Has some trouble getting through the zip tie as well. Okay, so not only is this a very small knife, it is not very sharp at all out of the box. Yeah, okay, so very, very dull knife out of the box, but this is a very tiny knife. You're gonna have to sharpen this. The Smith & Wesson Drive folding pocket knife coming in at the number 3 slot from Tractor Supply for July of 2026. We'll put that right next to the Olympia Rescue knife in the number 3 slot. And moving on to the number 2 bestseller for Tractor Supply. Okay, so the number 2 bestseller at Tractor Supply for July of 2026 is the Mossy Oak Labrador brown white folding pocket knife. This guy comes in at about $10. It was actually out of stock when I went to Tractor Supply to get the knives for this video, so it's a very popular knife, right? Couldn't even get my hands on one. This knife does come in at about 6.5 inches in the open position, so 6.5 inches in total. We do have a blade length of about 2.85 inches and a handle length of about 3.75 inches. The blade on this is a satin stainless steel with a nice drop point feature. It is a very cool little folding pocket knife because of the dog picture on the handle. You can see here it does have wooden bolsters, so that's pretty great. This knife does come in at about 2.4 ounces, so it's pretty lightweight, but standard kind of size for folding pocket knives in this category. And this knife does come with a liner lock, right? We do have a thumb stud on either side of the blade and a nice belt or pocket clip here. There is a finger groove in the handle, so I'm sure that helps with handling. I'm not able to do the sharpness tests with this knife, but maybe if I can get my hands on one, I'll do that in a later video. But yeah, definitely a popular knife. It was sold out at my local Tractor Supply, so if you're interested in dogs, might be a good pick for you. This is the number 2 slot for the bestsellers at Tractor Supply for July of 2026, and back to the bench. All right, now moving on to the number 1 best-selling folding pocket knife at Tractor Supply for July of 2026. We have the Roper Knives Peanut Americana 250. So this knife is pretty cool. It does have a acrylic multicolor flag kind of art here on the handle. So that's pretty cool, nice and patriotic. We do have a 250 on the blade itself. You can see right there on the blade, 250 to celebrate America's 250th anniversary. This is a slip joint, non-locking folding pocket knife. So we do have 2 blades built into it, non-locking. You can see here it just kind of collapses right back in. So that's pretty cool. We have a closed length of about 2.75 inches on this folder. We have a blade length coming in at about 2.25 inches and an overall length of just under 5 inches in total. This knife does come in at 5.6 ounces, so it's actually the heaviest knife on this list so far. We do have a stainless steel blade. Doesn't say what kind of steel, it's just stainless. This knife does come in at about $15 currently on at Tractor Supply. So inexpensive blade, pretty patriotic, very cool. One of the nice things about this knife for 15 bucks, you do get 2 blades in one, right? So you get two blades coming out of this one handle. Pretty cool. Nice classic kind of slip joint setup here. Let's see how the roper, patriotic little Peanut Americana, cuts on some of the 1/2-inch rope. So let's get that first blade out and get the 1/2-inch rope set up. See how that cuts. All right. Okay, got through it. A little bit of trouble there. Kind of, you know, ripped through it a little bit. Let's try the other blade on here and see how that goes. Okay, 1/2-inch rope. Second blade on the roper folder pocket knife. Okay, got right through it. So plenty sharp out of the box. No issues there. This is the #1 bestseller currently at Tractor Supply for July of 2026. The $15 roper Peanut Americana 250 folding pocket knife with 2 blades, a nice slip joint kind of setup. Excellent little patriotic knife with the 250 on there. So pick it up at Tractor Supply if you are interested. And yeah, these are the best sellers at Tractor Supply for July of 2026. We have the Buck Knives $3.79 solo folding pocket knife coming in at about $25. We have the Olympia Rescue folding pocket knife coming in at about $10. We have the Smith & Wesson Drive folding pocket knife, very tiny, very dull, coming in at about $10. We have the Mossy Oak Labrador brown and white folder, which is, you know, out of stock, so I didn't have it here, but that would be the #2 slot. And then we have the Roper Knives Peanut Americana 250 coming in at the #1 bestseller slot, only $15 at Tractor Supply, and it's super patriotic and really cool. So check it out if you're interested. Tractor Supply. Do you own any of these? Do you like one more than the others? You know, please leave a comment if you're interested in any of these knives. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.